Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Sector 5. I am your host, as always, Cody the Hangman Heinzman, and I am here to give the rundown to Wrestlemania. I am going to say, right here, right now, that the format is going to be a little bit different, compared to my predictions. Usually I try to keep the format the same, talk about the matches the same order that I did on the predictions, but due to things, and with the fact WrestleMania is a thing, it's going to be a little bit different. So, let's get started. We are still starting with pre-show stuff. We had... Gonna do these out of order. I'm not gonna do them in the order that they happened. We'll start off with the Divas match. Let's start with that one. We had Team Total Divas, which was Brie Bella, Natalya, Paige, Eva Marie, and Alicia Fox, versus Team Bad and Blonde, which is Naomi, Tamina Snuka, Emma, Summer Rae, and Lana. And the winner of that match was the Total Divas. I didn't say it in my predictions, or maybe I did, I don't quite remember well. I'm pretty sure I didn't, and I glanced over it. That match would have been a lot better if it was elimination style. They really should have had basically a Survivor Series type elimination type match. That's really what that match should have been, instead of one pinfall. But Brie ended up getting the pinfall to pick up the victory. I think it was against Lana, but I'm a little foggy because that was a long while ago. Next up, we had the Usos versus the Dudley Boys. The winner of that match was the Usos, and then the Dudleys afterwards tried to retaliate and put the Usos through a table, ultimately to fail. And the Usos put the Dudleys through the table. Next up, we had... This was another pre-show match. This is where things will be a little bit, well, I guess it's already a little bit different, but be a little bit different because we're talking about a title match. They had Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States Championship put in the kickoff show. So, winner of that match, and still your United States Champion, Kalisto. So, on to the next match we have. This will be, now we're out of the pre-show, and we're going into matches that happened at WrestleMania, not pre-show stuff. We'll still follow the format of non-title matches going into title matches. So, we're going to start off with Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. Winner of this match, and it kind of surprised me, Jericho. Jericho beat AJ Styles. So, looks like either the rivalry is going to end with a new rivalry coming in and starting, or, maybe next year for AJ Styles. Again, this wasn't AJ Styles' first pay-per-view appearance. Maybe if it was his first pay-per-view appearance, he would have won the title. Well, not the one title. Would have beat Jericho. But, sadly, it looks like Jericho took the win. Next up, we had the New Day versus the League of Nations. Whenever they originally were talking about it, it looked like they were going to have the New Day in like a handicap situation 3-on-4 match against the League of Nations. It was not actually set that way. It was Rusev and Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio versus the New Day. Well, Bad News Barrett was on the outside. So basically it was handicap, but it wasn't, they couldn't tag in Bad News Barrett. And speaking of Bad News Barrett hit the bull hammer on Xavier Woods whenever the referee wasn't looking, and that is how that's how League of Nations picked up the win. And after that, League of Nations said there is no 3-man tag team that could beat the League of Nations. They were challenged. It wasn't any tag team like with a name or anybody, but who would come out to challenge the League of Nations? Of course, this was just a one-night thing, but it's WrestleMania. We had Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, whichever name you want to go by those two, and Stone Cold Steve Austin come out. Of course, they did their signatures. Mick Foley with the mandible claw, and Shawn Michaels with the sweet chin music, and the stunner by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then the New Day came to celebrate with those three Hall of Famers, and they all participated, and then Stone Cold stunned Xavier Woods, and that's when the beer started flowing. Next up, we had the no-holds-barred match between Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. I got that one wrong. I'm just realizing that there was 4 matches I got wrong. I figured Ambrose might pick up the win because WWE, but Ambrose lost. Brock Lesnar, after 12 suplexes and 2 F5s, picked up the victory against Dean Ambrose. The 2 inanimate objects that Ambrose was given, the chainsaw and the barbed wire bat, did not come into play. I figured that they wouldn't let them go through, but they came out, but Dean Ambrose never got to use them, so more or less that was just, here's these weapons that we would like you to have, but you can't use, even though there's no hold bars. So there was that. Next up, the big one. We had The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. Will Monday Night Raw be controlled by Shane McMahon? No. Winner of this match, and we'll most likely still have a match next year at WrestleMania, The Undertaker. The one thing about that match, basically how the decision was decided, Shane McMahon tried to elbow drop Undertaker from the top of the Hell in a Cell. Undertaker rolled out of the way, and then once they got back inside the ring, Undertaker tombstoned Shane McMahon in the ring. That's interesting. I'm kind of hesitant. If it happened, we'll find out Monday Night Raw, I guess. But there was that. Next up, we had a match that was not in the predictions. It was an impromptu match that they had. The Rock, which everyone knew was going to be there, challenged Wyatt family member Eric Rowan to a match. And he won in 6 seconds, setting a record. Beating Eric Rowan in 6 seconds. Bell rang, rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. That was the match. That was the match. So, that led to the Wyatt family going after The Rock and the return of John Cena. Cena made the return, tagging up with Rock to just go after the Wyatt family. It was not a match. I figured Randy Orton might make a return, but he didn't. So, there's that. So that's the end of non-title matches. Let's go into title matches, shall we? We had Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. Now, you may notice I hesitated and then said Women's Championship and not Divas title. Before we go into the winner of the match, during the pre-show, Lita came out in the middle of the ring and unveiled the new Women's Championship. It is basically the same thing as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It is just white with the logo, and then like inside is like a pinkish red. It looks nice. It's a carbon copy of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and really nothing different. But who was the winner? Who was the one who won the Women's Championship? Charlotte. So, winner of this match and still your Women's Champion, even though it's the first time should be called that, Charlotte. Next up, we had the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Miz versus Stardust versus Dolph Ziggler versus Sin Cara versus Zack Ryder. Winner of this match and your new Intercontinental Champion. Woo! 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 You know it. Zack Ryder is your new Intercontinental Champion. I wonder how long he'll hold it. Maybe lose it tomorrow night on Raw. Even though when I'm recording this is 12:28. So technically today on Monday Night Raw. We'll see. Next up we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We had 16 of the 20 competitors. I wish I would have grabbed my notebook instead, because I wrote things down and just decided I didn't need it. But I wish I would have actually grabbed it, because if I'm not mistaken, the last few years was 30 men in the Battle Royal. I will make a little cut here to figure out about that. Alright everyone, I'm back. I got my book, and I was right. It was 30 men the last 2 years that they did the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Clearly they are low on Superstars, which we kind of know that as is. But this year, it was 20 men. We knew that all 4 members of the Social Outcast were in it. The Big Show, Kane, Tyler Breeze, Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Fandango, Damian Sandow, Darren Young, Connor, Victor, Goldust, and R-Truth. We knew 16 of them going in. But, we had, of course, that would mean 4 people needed to come in. What 4 competitors filled those 4 slots? We had Diamond Dallas Page, Tatanka, Baron Corbin from NXT, and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was in the Battle Royal, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't win. Winner of this match, winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, NXT superstar Brian Corbin. And I pretty much predicted, I said that last time during my predictions, I said that I predicted that someone we didn't know was going to win it. And I was right. I said that if it was one of the 16, it was going to be Mark Henry, but my main prediction was someone that we didn't know was winning it. I didn't think it was going to be an NXT superstar though. Next up, last match of the night. Triple H versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Winner of this match and your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. I'm actually pretty shocked about this. But we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow/today on Monday Night Raw. Anyways, guys, as I said, it kind of surprised me about the win on that. But again, we'll see what happens today on Monday Night Raw. So, that's my WrestleMania review. So I guess all that's left is to hang up the WrestleMania fedora for another year and go back to the Ambrose Asylum for these videos. And wow, I haven't wore a toboggan since cutting my hair, and this feels a little bit weird. But, as always, I'm Cody the Hangman Heinzman. That's just how it is.